Hi everyone. So today I'm going to make a candy dish bird feeder. I found this really pretty candy dish at the thrift store. It's a nice heavyweight. It might be lead crystal. And you can make a bird feeder with just the bottom and the top and then put a candlestick or something in between and glue it together and then tie the top with string or wire. And that would be enough to make a bird feeder. But I'm going to add a few more things to make it fancier. So I have this little orange bowl that I found at the thrift store too. I sprayed a clear coat over this because it's just like a light tinted orange and I think it would fade in the sun. So I use this Rust-Oleum clear. I have these tiny little candle holders that I found. I'm going to put these two together for the center. And this looks like crystal chain, but it's plastic. I got this at Joann Fabric. I'm going to use fishing line instead of string or yarn or wire for the top of the candy dish to hold it up. That way it'll be kind of invisible. So I'm going to try that, and I'm going to use JB Weld epoxy. I use epoxy for most of my bird feeders because I found that with the hanging weight, epoxy works better than E6000 or GE silicone because that can melt in the sun, and epoxy holds up a little bit better than that. So that's what I use. Okay, well, I'm going to get started. So just to let you know, if you're new to this channel, I like to upcycle glassware that I get at thrift stores, and I usually make bird feeders, bird baths, glass flowers, totems, and things like that for the garden. So make sure that you subscribe to my channel and take a look at my other videos to see what I've made in the past. And usually I'll either put these in my own garden or I'll give them away. I don't sell them or anything. I just like to make them for fun. Okay, so these tiny candlesticks I'm going to glue together. I'm going to glue them bottom to bottom like this. And then this is going to be the center holding up the roof of the bird feeder. So I want to give this a little bit of color. So I thought I would use orange marble so it'll match the roof. So I'm going to glue a marble into each one of these. Using epoxy. Okay. So what I use for mixing bowls is I cut off the bottom of water bottles. They make good mixing bowls. Okay, now I'm going to glue the crystal to the bottom of the candy dish so it can hang underneath like this. I think that'll look pretty. Looks like water drops. So I'm just going to glue the top part to the bottom of this here, like a little bit. Okay, I had to put tape on that until it dries. Make sure it stays in place. Okay, so now I'm going to make the roof. So I'm going to flip this over and glue the top of the candy dish onto this bowl like that. And it looks like just the tips are touching the bowl, so I'm going to have to put glue on all those edges. So I'll do that first. Okay, so this is what I have glued together so far. And I'm going to let it dry overnight to make sure everything is nice and secure. Okay, so it's been 24 hours. I'm going to take this tape off. It's nice and tight. So now I'm going to glue these little candlesticks inside of here. This is going to be the center. So I'm going to put the candlestick in here upside down like this. And then I'll glue this one on top of here. And then I'll put the roof on top of the candlestick. Like that. Okay. Epoxy. Okay, and just to make sure it's straight, I use my level. A little level always comes in handy. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit before I put the next candlestick on top. Okay. And just to show you, I puddled some epoxy around the edge just to make sure all of the edges are secure. Okay, so this one's dry enough to where I can put the second candlestick on top. Okay, so I have the two little candlesticks glued together. And I'll just let all this dry overnight before I put the roof on. Okay. If you want to know what coyotes sound like, okay, so everything has dried overnight, and now I'm going to glue the roof on the top. It's going to go on like that, but I'm actually going to glue it upside down. So I'm going to use this bowl here and put the roof upside down. And then I will glue it this way so that I can puddle the epoxy on the top. Okay, so I decided to use a bigger bowl so that it'll stay in place and it'll be more level. So like that. Yeah, that holds better. Okay. Okay, I think that's enough. I puddled it up around the edges to make sure it holds tight. Okay, so this is dried overnight. So I'm gonna flip it over. Set this aside. It looks nice. So now all I have left to do is put the string on the top. So I'm going to use fishing line. I'm going to cut this. Instead of just hanging it by the fishing line, I think I'm going to use a ring. I think I'll use the ring instead of this. And I'll make the fishing line wrap around this ring so it has something to hang from. Okay. So I'm using 50-pound line, which would be really strong because this is probably maybe like 3 pounds. It's not that heavy. I'm tying 2 on here, so I'll have the string coming out from 2 sides, so it'll be balanced. I'm just going to twist it together. And I just tied it on the end for now. Okay, I think I'm gonna tie a knot first. And then I'll start wrapping it around this. Okay. Okay, it's time to hang this feeder outside. Okay, here it is outside. I put it on a shepherd's hook temporarily, just for pictures.